So actually, our guests also rent part of the A house and have lived in the 5 years.
像这棵香樟树，我们在今天的时候见到的时候，这棵香樟树现在已经有了135年历史，因为86年设立的时候，当时已经是100年历史。通过这种香樟树这种植物的存在，这种默默的见证着人们感受到我们这个建筑的这种历史。
So looking at the age of the trees, that also tell you the long history of these whole places.
我们老城区对是就城隍庙这有一圈，我们上海我们有传统有些地名什么。小东门啊，老西门啊，就是我们上海城市的这么一个。
So for Shanghai, you know that have the Western Gate, Eastern Gate, or the Tang Gold Temple.
对，他们重新在这里建路、建筑，
等于是五环之外了，我觉得应该是。
对，但是今天这里已经是这个上海的一个黄金地段了。
非常好的一个闹中取静的这么一个地方，包括这边离。
And right now, this is quite a very tranquil places that surrounded by a very busy streets. And also, it's quite the fashion streets. So if you visit the Taiyuan street, there are quite a lot of boutique stores. So Shanghai actually is a really good place for you to really measure the city by your foot. You just can walk and also visit the stores on the street. And also if you want to take a rest, and you can come here in the garden and rest a little bit. So from the back of this building, that's provide you another angle of beauty. So when the European people visited Oriental place, they brought their preference to Shanghai. So you could see here, this is kind of a super mix of that the Western style. We talk about the French style plus the British style and also the Chinese style. So that's a really perfect mix and match back then here in the architecture. So basically here you could tell that from the very beginning, from day one, what the owner of the house preferred. So that also can show you how open it was. So you could bring everything you liked here, and also you could create your own style. So we talk about the openness, also another highlight here in Shanghai. A lot of different styles, different architectural styles all here welcomed by Shanghai. So looking at the ancient old buildings or architectures actually quite loved by local people. So maybe not really like to live in, but here is a really good place to rest a little bit. And here right now, this is a place really famous for like a wedding ceremony. You can experience the history. So let's get inside this building.
现在就进入它的这个大堂，进入这个主楼的大堂。对对对对。
Right now, the whole building here, this is the Taiyuan residence, and right now this residence is served as a hotel. So the ground floor is more like a public place, and for the upper floors will be the hotel rooms. So let's first get a bigger picture. Let's look around. Look at the fireplace. There's more the European style ceiling lamps. So here give you really a rich taste of history.
导播老师也提醒我，这个地方呢，实际上它是 1924年开始设计，1928年正式建成。那个我们今年是2021年，也就是接近。
So designed in
对，而且要告诉他的是，这个地板是没有更换过的，当然它要经过要修复、要保护。但是这个地板
24, and we talk about the whole floor actually not changed.
那个时候的装修质量
So you
好好
could
哦，
tell
对呀，
that's
而且
感
过了
really
好
the
多年。
因
history.
为那个时候如果要用到木材，
So you could tell
非常好的
here this is really that a very solid wood
就是你走
used
上去
for
非常有
the
但是
floor.
这个生意，但是对使用来说一点是没有问题。其实这
So
种
you
建筑
could
里
tell
面
that
不单单
this
是
is
木
a
头
Taiyuan
它还是
residence
有
or
一些
Taiyuan villa.
比较老的，还是建造的当初留下的东西，比如说像这边这个餐厅这一块，
我们现在直接进去
就可以
直接来
它里
到餐厅。
面有一个金丝楠木的屏
So
风，
let's visit the a
非常
dining
的
place.
有意义。
一听到金丝楠木，我就觉得这是个大宝贝，在哪里？
而且还很贵重。
对，
那在哪呢？哦，
And there's a treasure here.
其实这边可以拉出来。
哇，
来，拉一下，给大家看一下。
好漂亮！
哎，我的感觉呢，就是一点都不沉重，很轻，就很轻盈。
来，我们把
当时
这边
也有啊，
给大家看一个全
这应该是当时设计的。
So it's
这是
very lightweight.
那我们现在其实所在的这个位置，相当于它的一个大宴会厅哈。刚才我们进来的那个位置是它这个进行这个宴席。
So here is kind of the a
对着花园的
big dining hall.
也是他家的起居室啊。
So here is facing the garden. So this is kind of like think of like a living room.
但是要做一些什么样的保护呢？我在想，它是当然，首先你可能不能去，它们放在这里会来住店的人还是会摸到它，会怎么样？
那作为我来说，我可能想摸一摸，但是
对，
因为它没
So
有
the
保
a
但是我还是想看一看
material
看一
this
下
is
这个质
called
感怎么样。
the a
它还是
其实金丝楠木
有过一层
Gold
金丝楠木
Phoebe
应该来说它是具有功能性的，不仅仅是工艺品。像有很多它可以做很多家具，它还是
对
比较抗耐受的。
or it's just called
你看
nanmu.
像
It's
这
kind
个
of the
屏风
a
在这
wood.
栋楼里就是一个中西方的一个元素的一个结合，就像我们刚刚在门外看到的石狮子一样。
对，
照道理
And
来
we
说
talk
这个
about
房
this
子里
kind
面
of
应
is
该
the a
是
really
有
the a
这
Chinese
个
style.
东
This
西
the a folding screen.
非常西式、欧式
It's purely Chinese. So you're looking at this is the a quite European style, Western style building like sofas here, and looking at the paintings here. But at the same room, the other side here is the a Chinese
不
style
单是它这种材质是中国人比较喜欢的，
storytelling screen.
包括它表
You're looking at
现
not
的这
the
些内
a
容是
the
中
a
国人
wood that's quite famous and welcomed by the a Chinese people, and looking at the old paintings on the screen. It's all telling the Chinese style, the Chinese stories.
有多贵呢？
So looking at the same room, this is kind of the a mix and match styles going on.
版图这么宽，对吧？也就是现在讲。
So looking at the
没
plates,
有这个要40公分，
有啊
这样每
so
个
that's
有
around the a 2
就
hands.
是每一棵树基本上是都是这么大，应该来说是非常的难得。当然按照现在的价格，我觉得这是无价的，是不
So
没有
could
一
tell
个
actually this is
标准
back
可以去
then.
衡量
In
的。
1924,
而且主要是历史这个时
it's
间
really hard to find the a similar size of the wood,
它
right?
要在安装之前
So this is
肯定有
almost
些雕工
100
啊
years
有些
old.
进行的这个手艺就已经完成了，并不是说从安装之后，但是
So
安
think
装
about
完成
all
了
the
并不是说
works,
从
all
安
the
装之后，但
process.
是安装到现在已经
That's
那么久了。
really the
其实我们
time and
从
the
它的
first
上面可以看到
efforts.
很多历史的痕迹，有一些许的破损，有
Consumed
一些许的破旧的地方，但就是这些地方让我们感受到，它可能在某一个时期有什么人，比如说我们刚才说这个楼是有历史的，可能
So we talk about that. These paintings also tell us the a histories and also the experience that the a big historical events maybe took place here, and this screen actually witnessed the big events back then.
它已经是有我们，其实我们国家很多就是领导人啊、重要的人物都会到这边来居住，而且是非常喜欢。正如李总讲的，有可能有一些很重要的事件，有一些重要的人物。
So we talk about the a like the key figures back then lived in these places as well.
这边呢就是一个会议厅，
And the other side is the a dining room. So basically, that at the a different size of this screen. So at this side,
这是一个铜钱的一个标准的样子。
那边其实讲的是一个部署。之前
And also you can see a copper cache. That's a round pattern. That's you're looking at the paintings here tell the Chinese stories. But you're looking at actually here, you don't feel that awkward. That's the whole style still Western European style. But looking at the dining table, actually this is not traditional Western dining table. So here is round table is more Chinese, right? So you're looking at that the architectural styles or the interior design here. You're looking at the table setting. You're looking at the carving or patterns going on. So you're looking at the ceiling lamp or the lamp at the side of the wall. That's Western. But here looking at the table setting, the screen, that's perfect mix and match of Western and Chinese styles. So the role played by the screen is first of all to welcome guests to your home, and then here is also like a separator. So it's at the other side of the screen that will be a meeting room, and at this side of the screen that will be a dining room. So this is you're looking at this is the color also that make sure that we not really destroy the painting on the folding screen, and the restoration actually is also a detailed work. So right now we talk about the concept of restoration about these age-old pieces is that we keep that old or damaged part because that tells the story of a history about times. So this is something actually for the visitors, we appreciate that damage. So that really tells us that the whole screen has witnessed the times, the historical events happened before. So we talk about restoration right now. It's not really to repair the things as total new one. Here, just like to keep original as it is. And also look at the floor. This is the original floor. This is just the same one back 100 years ago. So we can tell this is really try to protect and preserve the whole buildings and also try to restore everything as its original look and feel. So it's really bring you travel back the time. And also don't feel awkward when you enter into the room. This is a really good place to celebrate the key milestones, the big important days, wedding ceremonies. And also a lot of people actually take their wedding photos outside in the garden. So this is a classic, also luxury place, but still the price actually is affordable. So this is open to public, and also you can live inside. Here is around 23 rooms available here. So you just can make your appointment, make your booking online. the Taiyuan Villa.
这栋楼楼上就有，我觉得喜欢老房子，我觉得可以来体验一下。
等发了年终奖，我可以带我爸爸来体验一下。
还好啦，这个客
So this actually the price is quite
而且我们看到这个
affordable, so you don't need to wait when you get the bonus.
我们有宴会厅，正好想分享国外的事。其实，宴会宴请和我们中国人的，我觉得国外和我们中国人的这种思想一样的，吃是一个非常重要的。
对。
So back to the food.
像在这个大的圆桌，刚才也说了，圆桌其实
So this round table, actually we have seen this more in Chinese style.
那像这样的一个位置，应该来说，它背对着壁炉的，应该算我们可以作为一个主位嘛。特别是
So looking at this that we talk about for a round table, we know that a dining table here that we know that a big person or the event hoster will sit at a center place.
如果按照西方的长桌摆法，我们现在一般长桌会议啊，我觉得主位都会摆在那个长边的中，没有长边的中间，对吧？像现在很多开会，但事实上最早应该是顶头上的那个，
就是单独那个最窄的那个位置。
对吧？现在是宽的长边的在中间。
对。
我们平时开会啊什么。
是对，两边的话。
So for Western style, that's more a long table. But here you're looking at, this is a round table, and we don't want to sit each other too far away. We don't want that taste of good food while yelling to each other. Otherwise, it's way too far for each other to hear each other. So for the round table, is that people can sit closer to each other, and also very good to have a very easy chat, easy talk while tasting a nice food.
其实有很多东西，因为我们觉得能保留下来，就是它有时还是现实的一个使用的这样意义，否则的话就可能会变成一个文物，就慢慢就觉得只是在博物馆里欣赏。
So we don't want to keep all these in the museum. We talk about this as although a cultural relic, but still actually still functional and also good to use even today.
应该是有一些以前的领导人可能在这边住过，对。
好，各位央视频的网友，您现在收看到的是我们流动的。
So to all the viewers, welcome to me with CGTN New Media, and right now we bring you this live streaming from Shanghai, and with us I have a local expert with us, and this is Taiyuan Villa, and we are here in Shanghai. Shanghai also the host city of the 4th China International Import Expo. Right now we get on board to bring you more beauty of Shanghai. And it's time for us to dip some coffee here. And this is our van. So we will take this RV and tour around Shanghai. So the price for this Taiyuan Valley is less than 1,000 RMB per night. That's around the $167 per night. So that's very affordable. So the location is very nice, and it's located in a very busy street, so very close to the city center. For these kind of the old buildings we talk about, so in Shanghai there are a lot of these kind of the ancient buildings in Shanghai, like the Taiyuan Villa. So in Taiyuan Street, Changle Street, Zhile Street. So a lot of these kind of buildings actually in some the protected So that's a protective historical building. So that's kind of served as a museum. And for some buildings, as you can use it as a personal residence or the restaurants.
所以这个理念就也是来自欧洲。像欧洲有很多就一个古堡卖给你就1欧元，但是你得按照政府的要求。
But you need to follow that the government's requirements to restore, repair, and maintain the building. So that's you need to really time and effort needed to protect this old building. So this is also the quite of the style in Shanghai. They talk about that this is not really that have a fixed the owner. So we talk about as long as we bring the benefits to the public, then it's okay. No matter it belong to a certain company or belong to government, as long as it has good function and bring benefits to the people, then that's really the good way to leverage the strength of these kind of assets, historic assets, and also the very nice way to protect the history, right?
我们小的时候可能还住在市区，但是像我这一代人，很多其实大了以后都搬到了就是郊区的那个，就以前的郊区啊，搬到了市区外面。但是现在我们再回到市区，其实我们也很想再去感受上海的以前的这些历史，找一找小时候的感觉。
So this is kind of the old Shanghai or part of that the people's memory. So we should cherish that. So that's a really good the way for the Shanghai government practice, because the Shanghai government also encourage the people to better use this old building well, preserve and protect the historical or cultural relics. So right now, today is a Sunday, right? Yes. So for the weekend, we actually will visit our parents' house and eat with our parents together. And we talk about for the Sunday or for weekends, also a very busy day for the parents, because they will cook a very nice meal to treat their children. For the food cuisine, for the very famous food companies, if you want to demonstrate how successful you are, then you have to open at least one store, one restaurant in Shanghai. We now talk about that's a super high experience food. A lot of the restaurants actually the like pho from Vietnam or the noodle dishes actually just opened their store in these ancient old buildings. So a lot of food actually very affordable, but very tasty. So it's a very good family reunion day, and also you can chill out a little bit with your family, with your friends. Maybe in different settings, so maybe not in your home, so you can bring your family and the friends to these kind of old buildings and enjoy a very nice meal. That's also a very good choices to celebrate the weekend. And also looking at right now, we are here. This is a very famous street. You can see that we have different boutique stores. So for Shanghai, that's the streets that with the requirements that we should never expand or widen the road. So here, that's the really perfect place for people to just walk around to experience Shanghai. So that's also good to promote the street business, right? So the road is not too wide, so it's very easy for you to cross the road, to walk both sides of the street. So in Shanghai, there are a lot of this kind of the style streets. So a lot of boutique stores, a lot of very famous CA stores, a lot of the coffee shop that's quite viral online, and also bars as well.
只能伸出一只手来递给你一杯咖啡的这样一
对，
个
就是那个著名的那个熊爪咖啡，对我们当时还报道过，但是熊爪咖啡也很温暖，它其实是帮助残障人士就业的一个
有这么一个属性的是一个。
而且一说到咖啡，好像最近有一句，
我们的咖啡怎么样？
我们首先我们自己也有咖啡，一会儿要喝。
So we have the coffee with ourselves, and also we will also talk about the coffee as well to experience the weekend style in Shanghai.
上海的咖啡店有5000多家。
So there are more than 5,000 coffee stores in Shanghai, and that's the largest number of coffee shops per city. So this is quite surprised me.
店你可能不知道，因为上海不但咖啡店多，而且上海我们就举一个最有名的那个咖啡店。
So let me give you example.
它在上海的那个销售的单价也是全球最贵的。
A famous coffee shop actually they sold the highest price
因为上海人喝咖啡
in Shanghai. So people like in Shanghai really like to taste coffee inside store. So that's why they pay a lot of prices for renting.
当时很多人质疑，哎，为什么你在国外的卖便宜，在中国你要卖这么贵的上海？
So the people quite curious to know why that you sell more expensive in Shanghai. Because like Shanghai people like to sit in, and maybe that actually really took a long time for them to sit in.
对，会在那里喝一点。而且你知道，就我们住的那个酒店附近的有一个咖啡厅，它的一个特色套餐就是一杯咖啡一颗小龙。
小笼包。
对，咖啡配小龙。
And also in Shanghai, there are different mix and match. We know that Shanghai that there's a combo in a coffee shop. It's very, very interesting. And that's the a combo is that 1 cup of coffee plus one the
那所以
Shanghai the famous
顾老师就是刚才我们讲到进博会，
dumpling,
说到给中国、给上海，包括给全国的老百姓都带来了很多。
or that's a very famous Shanghai steamed buns.
有什么是你在进博会上发现的宝贝，你现在一直都喜欢吃的？
进博会上我发现宝贝，就因为就举个例子啊，就像现在大家都知道吃火腿，西班牙火腿，对不对？但是可能很多人不知道，在我心目知道我是这么觉得，最好吃的火腿是来自法国的科西嘉岛。
哦，我真的不知道。
对，因为我们
So we talk about that ham. We always talk about that's maybe the Spanish ham or the
其实像法国的这个火腿，
Italian ham, but we talk about French one. That's even tastier, more tasty than the Spanish one.
这就是我在进博会上。
So that's what I found in CIIE.
做饭的那种。
我会做菜，但是更多的呢，我是因为现在这2年是因为这个疫情出不了国嘛，然后本来我是每年我要飞150次，去世界各地寻找各地的美食。
150次，
对，
每2天就在飞机上。
我是航旅综合上超过100%。
超百。
So in Shanghai, there are different kinds of the coffee shops, and one very famous one is the Bear Claw. So that's the shop that provide free training for hearing impaired people, and as trained for the barista. So that's a very famous one. That's more for the charity, and we talk about that. Drinks are served by the furry bear claw. So that's made by people with hearing difficulties. Right now has become a viral hit. So if you go to Shanghai, you do please visit this store. That's a very famous one that provide coffee just with a very fluffy furry bear claw. And we talk about CIIE actually really bring a lot of a new food to Shanghai. That also this kind of a new imported food also inspired people to cook different dishes.
告诉他这个东西大概人家是怎么做的，最终应该什么味道。他是有技术的，他可以就是发挥把它做更好。那我主要是把世界各地好的食材。
So talk about CIIE is more like a way to collect the really good imported food, and we will also to invite the chefs to cook this imported food, especially the newly imported one, to think about how we can really cook or leverage original taste and strengths of this imported food, like for example the imported hams, and also think about how we can integrate that with the local Shanghai cuisine style.
做我们上海的烟肚鲜，那绝对是一个奢侈品，用到，因为如果你用西班牙火腿，它不够咸。
So we think about that different way to localize that imported food. So try a different way to make it more creative and also better integrated with local style.
但是它是鲜肉嘛，用这个再用上我们本地的就是竹笋，是吧？这个做的烟肚鲜，每个人都会做，大家可以自己去试一下。非常好的食材，对，全国各地
So we talk about that the food around the world, that for example that French ham that the fried with bamboo shoots that will create a Shanghai local dishes. So we talk about China International Import Expo really provide us this really good platform to cluster at really good quality a foreign food. Because like we talk about the market is so wide, but for sure they will demonstrate what they have, the best they have, to show here at CIIE. Then we talk about here in Shanghai, we know that really that widen or broaden our horizon. So we know that what could be the best one, what would be the best ham, what could be the best coffee. So before you only know that a Spanish ham, but there are a lot of that a classification of the Spanish ham, and also there are different stories going on behind that Spanish ham. So if you visit CIIE, then you know that what is difference between different Spanish ham, for example, that meat from the which part of the pig, or that we talk about the year of that meat, that all change or impact the taste. And we talk about that the taste even change. For example, that the pig, if enjoying the acorn from a very young age, compared to the pig that the slaughtered, and before slaughtering that the pigs ate acre. So that's really changed the taste of the meat. So this is very important. So we need to ask that the year of the acorn consumed, that's totally changed the taste of the ham. So really open up our horizon. So please stay tuned with CGTN New Media. Will bring you more coverage about the CIIE, about food, about drinks, about beverage, about a lot of different products. And here is Huaihai Street. That's the busiest street. If you visit Shanghai, you for sure come to this place. You can compare it to the Fifth Avenue of the United States. For Huaihai Street, for our locals, here is more Shanghai style. So back to that buildings, to the architecture. So that's a perfect mix and match with the old building. So that the western part of the Huaihai Street had a lot of the residents. Songqingling residents also here located in the Huaihai Street. So Huaihai. So the Huaihai Road, the Huaihai Western Road, is quite close to the previous concession. So Nanjing Street, we talk about that the street is more for the people's day-to-day needs. So you go there to buy clothes, daily necessities. But we talk about here Huaihai Street. It's more the leisure industry streets. It's not really the daily necessity, but here is like the more lifestyle streets. So looking at the local food store, but also we're looking at that's the milk tea stores. So looking at maybe that's the mom and pop's store or the grandma favored food store, and next to it will be the milk tea, bubble tea store that welcomed by the young generations. So here is quite like old and young mix and match. So looking at this is more the brands that for quite long time. So for your whole family, maybe your grandma already a consumer of that brand. So here that still that have that shops here on this street. Right now, also these traditional brands also go digital. So it's very good to see that still that's the uncles, aunties really lining up there to buy just a small dish for the dinner. That they have really high requirements. That they may be here that line up for that 30-40 minutes. But they have really strict picky requirements that if they want to taste beef, they must go to this certain store. So that 30-40 minutes waiting in a line is okay for them, but at least they actually have their own requirements. They know what tastes best. So that maybe the same Huaihai Street for one store, they buy beef, they're waiting for 30-40 minutes in the line, and then go to another store to buy another dish. Maybe waiting for another 40 minutes, but they think that the time required will pay back because that's the best tasty one. So still, we talk about the CIIE, the China International Import Expo, really the nice platform for us to collect the best tasty food here in Shanghai. Oh, here gathered in Shanghai.
果落地之后呢，可能第2年就没有这款产品了，因为已经落地了。进博会搭建的是一个中国和世界交往。
So we still talk about this is a platform built by CIIE. So we actually opened the gate to outside world to welcome the foreign brands to bring what they have to introduce to the Chinese consumers. So we basically build up that stage for them to show what they have.
大家好像印象中对新疆好像新疆不产牛奶，新疆
很多人不知道，对吧？
新疆瓜果梨桃更多。
但是其实我们其他，比如内蒙啊，这个我们大家可能知道，那对牛奶，包括有几个大的品牌，是长年累月的这么一种广告的植入它的影响。但新疆的牛奶非常小众，的确是非常好。去年进博会的。
And talking about milk from Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, before people not really heard a lot about the milk from Xinjiang, but actually last year we invited people to taste the milk from Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region, and last the CIIE. So we just have a blind tasting events that people that after they taste it, they saw this from Australia, from Singapore, from different places, but only one person said it's from Xinjiang because that person from Xinjiang, so he knew so well about his hometown milk. So this quite surprised a lot of people. So with CIIE, so people also quite know more about their local brand, that milk from Xinjiang. That's quite surprised people. And then people start to know that milk from Xinjiang is very tasty. And they actually, we open an additional channel or give people additional choice to the consumers. So we talk about CIIE is a way for us to get the best products from the foreign brands and also a platform provided to our local brands to showcase what they have. So for this CIIE is like a exchange platform. So for the Chinese food, so still in the other countries, you just can buy them from a Chinatown or from the Chinese supermarket. Shanghai Street actually is quite long. So that's around 6 to 7 kilometers. And the main part is around 5.5 kilometers. So we talk about the Shanghai Street actually started from 1900. So here in Shanghai, looking at this Huahai Road, and also in Shanghai, the different street names, actually, this to the commemorate different the historical key events. For Huahai Street, actually, to the commemorate the Huahai battle. And also we have a Beijing Street, and other cities or province name here.
像在那个浦东那边有一些名字，我看是还是有一些中国特色，它会从中国的就是古典文学里面取一两个字，比如说什么锦绣啊这样的一些，还有一个叫什么，好像裸纸还是什么，就是很美的这种。
是的，有一些植物在那边，就是四季公园那边的，就是锦绣路啊，还有花木路等等，还有各种那种植物的道路，包括还有浦东我们张江高科技园区那边，用一些可能是跟它相关的什么通知路啊，等等类似的这些路。对。
那其实我们接下来马上就要拐出淮海路，那么我们
We
下一站是超越。
right now approaching to another stop. So first, we actually experienced a different style mix and match of the buildings to know about the city here. We've visited the Taiyuan Villa, and we talk about that really Shanghai is a place where old meets new. And then next, we will visit a very iconic street, and also that's a must-visit place. That's the Bond. So a lot of buildings actually along the Bond that's also more than 100 years. So when we look at the building, actually that tell us that experience or the witness of this city. And I prepared a book here, and this is a book that prepared by CIIE. And there are actually a lot of the photos inside.
这个要问，
这一猜翻一页就可以看到，我们完了请两位我们上海本地人，这肯定是上海本地人。
这城隍庙吗？
这我觉得。
So for sure, I think like for Shanghai locals, you all know this.
是全国人民都应该都知道的地方，一看就知道，也是一会儿我们要去的地方。
我们要去就能看到。
And we just saw the Tang God Temple, and the cover is the picture on the cover is the Bond. That's the place where now we are approaching to.
你也翻得太厉害了，
这个一大会址代表一大会址嘛。
说到在淮海
新天地，
对新天地那边附近。
还继续忙了，因为里面全。
So that's a site.
这个是那个沿江的哪一带？是不是世博？
这个应该是徐汇滨江那边吧？
徐汇滨江那边。
For the party's first meeting.
就是整个沿着黄浦江开发出了很多新的地段。以前我们只知道外滩那一段，现在有很多休闲娱乐和艺术的场所。
对，这边这好像思南公馆，思南公馆的。
这个要问了，这老房子一定要问郭老师了啊。
This is Sinan Street, and that's also the ancient villa.
对，我们有机会明年再多打卡几个这样的老楼，大家都看看。
上海这种文化的这种内容都会看，包括我们刚才一直在聊咖啡。
And we talk about coffee here and here actually. So really to promote Shanghai, so we're looking at the buildings, architecture, and also here include a theme of coffee. So we talk about coffee today. Actually, we really like to share with people as this is just our day-to-day life. We talk about the international brand. Actually, they opened their store, and we not only have international brands. A store, but we also have a store just opened at the community. So we have the community coffee shop. So we talk about that coffee actually play a key role in Shanghai style, Shanghai lifestyle. And they also actually pay back to the society, like they train the disabilities, or they provide help to the people, and they also opened a very small store in the community to facilitate people's day-to-day life. So that's really a nice place to provide a service with that warmth.
你这书里有没有我们要打卡的那个楼？也有是吧？
因为我们要打卡的是上海总会大楼，现在是一家上海知名的酒店所在的地方。
这是以前的Shanghai Club 是吧？
这个是那个东西。
这些楼我们等一下都可以看到。
对，
这本书很值得，就是我回家做纪念啊，没事翻一翻。
对，就是特别对，如果对上海不熟悉的话，根据这本书，
哎，武康路的大楼，前两天。
So right now we're approaching to Shanghai Club.
大楼的这个。
大楼曾经是我把它誉为是上海市中心最美的看夕阳的地方。就是顶楼，因为它的西侧正好。
And also this building is the best place to preserve the sunset here in Shanghai.
很好看的电影就在这上拍的，叫《喜欢你》。最后一个镜头就是在武康大楼上面。
而且武康大楼现在真的就是一个网红打卡的一个地方，你到那里在对角的那个马路上站在那里，我觉得。
And the building is called Wukong Building. But right now we're approaching to the Bond, and the Shanghai Club building is also located at the Bond. Right now is located at number 2 of the Bond.
最早进行尝试商业化使用的这一栋，它装修当时是4号，后来就觉得不吉利，他先用，他就申请了个3号，那后来因为本来就是这个马路不是这边是单号，那边双号嘛，是一个3的嘛，13或者怎样过来的，然后后来就是等于是这栋楼就他说按照我就只能叫2号。其实我们今天看的总会大楼，如果讲总会大楼，可能大家并不是很熟悉，但是告诉你它曾经是什么，大家可能不知道。它曾经是进入中国的第一家肯德基的所在地。
And before that's a store opened by a Kentucky Fried Chicken. So a KFC opened their first store here at the Shanghai Club, and right now currently part of the Waldorf Shanghai on the Bond.
这个业主方还是我们的一个上海的90公司，是我们一个国企，所以这栋楼也是得到非常好的一个保护。
So the Shanghai Club building is a 6-story Baroque building in Shanghai, located at number 2, the Bond. And once home to one of the premier men's clubs in Shanghai, and the building was used for various clubs and hotels after 1949. It's currently part of Waldorf Astoria Shanghai on the Bond. And here right now, looking at the best season to visit Shanghai is the October and November. Especially when the leaves turn yellow, that will be around 2 weeks from now. So that will be the most beautiful season here. So that will be the color change to pure gold. Well, by the way, Beijing snowed yesterday overnight. But also here at the Bond, I think a lot of our viewers are so familiar with the buildings here. So for local people, we not really visit the Bond to see the Bond. If that way would like to enjoy our afternoon tea, or we like hang out with our friends, and we may come to the Bond.
是偶尔去享受一下。
因为很多这一排，从这边2号一直到外滩15号，到那边那个罗斯福大楼，到一直到半岛酒店，这么一整排，其实有很多餐饮。所以我说有很多。
So we talk about the bond, especially that from this number 2, the Shanghai Club, and to throughout the whole way to the Peninsula Hotel. Actually, that this is a really nice place to enjoy your afternoon tea, to taste some really good food here. Well, you also can enjoy that the beautiful thing here on the bond.
我们现在到的其实不是它的这个外滩正门啊，但是我们会带大家过去。
对。好，现在我们已经来到了这个我们今天打卡的第2个地点，也是。
All right, right now arrived at our second place, and right now this is currently part of the Waldorf Astoria, Shanghai on the Bond, and this is also we call the number 2, the Bond. Previously, this is called the Shanghai Club, and this is actually constructed. Was opened in January 1910. So when we commercialize this kind of old building on the Bond, we will first for sure preserve the original taste of the old building, will extend the size of the building with some new constructions. So this is the newly built part of the hotel, and right now approaching to the old one. And also actually you cannot really tell that's the newly built part or the old built part. So this is quite seamlessly connected to each other, but actually from the interior style, you could tell the difference. So we're looking at, like through our camera, hope our viewers can see that. Looking at on the wall, there are a lot of really the photos to tell you that the story happened in the past. So that's part of the history telling. And also we're looking at the decoration inside. And also with Chinese style, that's the blue and white porcelain. And the hotel opened in 2010. As the Waldorf. Right now it's afternoon tea time. So the whole style, the whole Shanghai Club, in 1971 it became the Dongfeng Hotel, and it was notable from 1990 to 1996 for hosting the first Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurant in Shanghai. And then it converted to become the Waldorf Astoria, Shanghai on the Bond. And the hotel, the Waldorf, opened in 2010 or 2011. So part of right now the people's lifestyle is like during the weekend, really like to hang out with our friends or even with our family members to enjoy a very nice afternoon tea. So we choose maybe one restaurant or one very famous coffee shop to have a very nice talk with our friends or family member to spend some quality time together. Right now, we actually approaching to the old building part. And right now, we are here at the Shanghai Club building. So this is the ground floor.
作为这个英租界或者是法租界的这个地区，它其实那个时候是一个俱乐部一样的性质。
对，它后来是就曾经做过就是海员俱乐部，应该来说是，因为它就类似我们前面法租界一样，这一块呢它是商业用途，是在我们的16铺码头大家都知道对吧？是以前那是。
So the Shanghai Club was the principal men's club for British residents of Shanghai, which was founded in 1861.
建设他们来进行一个开发。这里的区域就是我们的到了这个外滩港口的这样一个道。其实这里它现在更多的一个作用是，下面它是作为一个它酒店的一些有历史感的一些公共的一个区域。这边有。
So here we looking at this is the old building. And also we looking at here is a French restaurant. It's a Michelin star restaurant. So Michelin 1-star restaurant. So very elegant French style restaurant. So looking at this is the inside of this French restaurant in the Shanghai Club. So this is the before with quite a strong style of the British and the French style, and we talk about the whole building actually with quite the iconic British style. And we talk about long bar here. That's very famous. We talk about the second floor was famous for the long bar. And that's the L-shaped bar that measured 110.7 feet by 39 feet. It was famous for being the world's longest bar at one time. So that's a very famous long bar. We're approaching to it. Hope we can see that the L-shaped bar. Looking at this long bar, 1911. Here we go. Look at this. This is once the longest bar. Right, that's the L-shaped bar was 110.7 feet by 39 feet. It was famous for being the world's longest bar at one time. We don't know how many bartenders we need, but actually this is once again the longest one. Of course, this may not really fit in to today's modern need. But let's talk about before that. In 1911, there will be a really eye-catching one. We talk about the Shanghai Club was the principal men's club for British residents of Shanghai, and the club was originally named the Correspondence Club. The building opened in January 1910. And also, in the 20s and 30s, the club was the most exclusive club in Shanghai. And also, looking at this is one of the famous places here inside this building, called the Long Bar. And it's the L-shaped bar that measured 110.7 feet by 39 feet. And was famous for being the world's longest bar at one time. And we also talk about here, you can see clearly the a
陆家嘴那个
very good view outside.
乡下。
现在我们看到的是完全不一样的。
对，我们现在很喜欢要看那个江景，特别是有江面，那个山洞大楼的倒影是非常的好看。但以前是没有的，以前对面就是一片滩涂。
真的看到这个酒廊啊，这个吧台真的是
有感
非常震
觉，
撼。
尤其是我们看到了它的历史。
This is really eye-opening. So this is think about this 1911
可能就已经在了，而且感觉它的这个质感还是
already existed.
在里面的，并不是那种打磨。
So when you touch it,
因为我也好久没进
still actually tell you that the feeling of history.
在那个哈罗德百货，它里面它下面有一块美术广场，就是这样一种感觉。我就进来我就想着，好像很多人在这边在吃啊，是感觉会非常好。人多的话，感觉是会非常好。
这样酒吧的文化也是欧洲人啊，非常
We talk about the bar culture, actually also something in their lives,
他的社交，他平时就是
right? Because they not really play mahjong, so that's not part of their life. But bar drinking, that's part of people's life. Especially, this is more that British style. You know British, right?
香槟，吃一点生蚝，然后可能再去找地方吃一个正式的晚餐 dinner 这样子。
而且这栋楼，我觉得我们为什么会选这栋？平时其实外滩的外景，大家的各种纪录片、风光片看的就是已经是很多了，但是有的外滩里面建筑里面呢，倒并不是说平时有很多的。
So we believe this is quite the a rare scene provided to our viewers because our viewers for sure quite familiar with the a scene of the bond, right? And also this is, I believe, that's the and a lot of people actually have the chance to visit inside of this building.
酒店它有两种课程，一种就是在我们的老建筑里面的老房间，
体验式。
还有呢就是里面新楼。
So for Waldorf Hotel, they provide two different kinds of styles of hotel rooms. So you can choose that you would like to live in a hotel room in this old building, or you can choose the hotel room in a newly built one. But here, looking at it, this is really the a historic one. This is really tell you the history, and let's get inside.
坐上电梯，坐上这个时间非常久的电梯啊。
我们看一下，我们应该当
So of course, it will be really slowly
请这个这边的服务人员
take us to
我们让工作人员帮我们把
the third floor, maybe. So we need to
一直想知道它
close
申老师，您
it.
往前一点，对我们请工作人员按一下这个楼。
它这个还是
We need someone to help us to operate this elevator and lift.
它这个电梯的外包装还是完全原来旧的这种感觉。
哇，好像
但是人家还是按时
穿越。
年检的呀，要告诉大家，这个检查都是按符合各种规范的。
我就感觉我
有穿越感。
在邦泰罗那住那边都是博物馆改建的酒店，就是这种感觉。
对，那种老的
是的，老的。
那现在是吴老师要带我们去打卡一个什么地方？
对，就可以看一下，它就是最早。
Let's visit a hotel room.
就是现在有很多网红会来，就是打卡在这边。
打卡在这里的地
对
方。好，我也很期待，看看应该是我们设想的，首先它的 view 应该是很好的，因为毕竟是在江边。
So I believe the will be super good because it's on the bank on the bank of the pond. And also let's check out the interior design of the room. That may be also another mix and match. All right.
网友们有眼福了，我们要走进一个靠近黄
We come to a really nice hotel room.
实际上这在原来
And this is the room at the old building. So right now this is one of the hotel room. Very nice.
办公室，
商业的，对
对，办公室。
因为我们在这边窗口当时可以看到整个一排。
Let's first check the view, maybe.
它这个非常好的环境里，
帮忙把那个窗帘给拉开，然后让给观众一个好的视角。
窗帘，
对，
来，
里面 面这一层窗其实是可以开的，来，里面这一层是可以打开，外面这一层呢是出于这个安全的考虑。
There are two layers of the windows for the safety consideration. The outside windows actually cannot open, but the inner ones can. So looking at this is the barn. And we're also looking at here that's the really different styles of buildings here. We talk about that Shanghai, especially the barn, that give you really the different kinds of mix and match here in Shanghai. That is why Shanghai also chosen as the host city for the China's International Import Expo. So Shanghai is quite fit in. That's a big theme. That's the opening up and very open up to the outside world. So looking at this very inclusive place, and also the Shanghai is the frontier place representing China's reform and opening up, and also for the CIIE that also showcase that looking at the Shanghai, that's already in your DNA, that's really open to the outside world. So that's reflected in the styles of buildings, right? You're looking at this is like the European style, the architecture. So looking at the custom building and also the HSBC building. But looking at this hotel room, so the bed for sure is Western style. But no matter it's Western style or Chinese style, but right now looking at still really good to use even today. And the hotel room, look at the lightings, look at the beddings. So that's really good for people to stay over, right? And also just like every morning, that the beautiful scene of the barn will wake you up. So that's the living experience. This is super good. So we talk about the experience will be super nice, but it's so close to the street. Maybe that wake you up is not only the beautiful scene and the sunrise at the barn, but also some the sound of the cars. So for sure, there are different the pros and cons of the hotel rooms. That this original one that is with a history, for we should protect, preserve, and to make sure that we maintain this original taste and style of the old buildings. And we talk about the newly built part that's at the back of the old one, so that's a little bit distance from the street. So the new one will be better in terms of the noise. So for sure that we talk about that the commercialization. So for these kind of buildings, that we will for sure preserve its own style, and then we will expand it, the size of the hotel, so we can provide more rooms to the customers.
感受到这个套房啊，设计上还是比较适合居住。
来这边，来老师这里，就带大家看一下，它有一个。
So let's tour around this suite.
浴室，就是。而且很实用，比如说像这个女士在浴室里的这个坐下来的这个梳妆镜就很实用，因为我们每天都是站在，然后翘着弯着腰在那里化妆，但这个就能很优雅的坐在这里。
So here you're looking at this is also the very nice place for ladies. So you really can take your time to dress up yourself, to get ready. So that's a very sweet, detailed sighting.
为了让我们看到这个，感受到这个它优越的地理位置。好，我们继续走。好，我们现在呢就先出了这个套房，然后呢，我们应该就是要带大家看这个酒店的所谓的门脸这样的一个地方。
其实真正作为这个华尔道夫酒店，我们
And then let's go back to show our viewers that the A front gate, where we talk about that's the A phase of the hotel. And back to this lift, once again, actually to all the viewers, this lift actually is not open to the public. So we need the people to help us to operate.
所以我们要去看的这个门脸，我觉得是很多人来到华尔道夫酒店都会去打卡。
I believe that's really the place that we talk about as a hotel front, and that's the a gate facing to the pond, to the Huangpu River.
一定会来，非常漂亮这个中庭，整个色调很优雅，对，非常宽敞。
就是一会儿的功夫也看到很多人在这里拍照。
很多人，我们刚才我们上午来这个踩点。
We talk about a lot of people actually really like to visit this place to take photos.
很多的市民在这里玩。
市民对这类的建筑啊、酒店还是有情怀，还是觉得会喜欢在这里。
And for even Shanghai locals, they like to take pictures.
这个刚才老师给我们讲的这个肯德基，好像最早的这个开业的地点，就在这个位置。
对。
And then we will see that the first floor, the first door, first restaurant, the first KFC restaurant, the Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's the from 1990s to 1996.
就是差不多这一片的位置。
在上面那个一层的位置，哎，对对对，
一层那个位置，就刚才我们走过来那个位置。
啊，对对对。
哦，知道了。哇，这里就很开阔，然后。
All right, we come to the outside of this Waldorf Hotel, and this is AKA Shanghai Club building. So looking at these buildings, these windows, that's originally also the place to host the first Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurant in Shanghai. And right now, looking at this is the front of Waldorf building, this Waldorf hotel here. And also we talk about that originally this is the place. In 1971, it became the Dongfeng Hotel, and then it was notably from 1990s to 1996 for hosting the first KFC restaurant in Shanghai. And right now, this is a Waldorf Shanghai on the bond. So this is more the British style. So we're looking at the bond buildings actually has different styles. We talk about that let's look at a full picture here, so you can find the buildings with that a Gothic style.
整个外滩上的这个历史建筑可能有20多栋，但是最重要的这几栋都在我们的视野范围内。从我们身边的这一栋外滩2号的。
So looking at here from number 2.
那个圆顶呢，以前汇丰银行大楼。
And then to the HSBC building, that's round ceiling.
钟楼是海关大楼。
And then to the Custom building.
绿色的尖顶就是和平饭店了。
绿顶的和平饭店，因为
And then to the bell tower. And then to the Peace Hotel with the green ceiling.
同时间常常会发现。
So why is green? Because that a lot of the Western architecture actually, their ceilings actually was made by copper.
色的，然后
And
那个年代的时候，大家看到都是绿色，绿色是铜锈，所以这个我们和平。
after it's the oxidation, it turned the color from the copper color to green color. And then to the Peninsula Hotel. So these whole cluster of buildings that's called the International Cluster of Architecture here on the bond in Shanghai.
这虽然就可能是2公里不到的路程，但是
So actually it's less than 2 kilometers, but actually I really recommend our viewers spend 2 to 3 hours here
现在有一个很好
to enjoy
浦江两岸。
a different taste of the architecture.
上面包括我们上海大厦，
包括北外滩那个滨江道也可以吧？
对，北外滩的那个百玉廊广场那边，像那边的 W 酒店，你可以看到，同时看到两岸的，是那边感觉会比较好一
哇，
点。
真的很棒，很棒。那我觉得我们也差不多在这里可以做一个，就是说我们要不转过来跟大家做说尾。
而且我们还可以在这之前，我请各位来移步到这边来，我们来看一个东西。
So let me also show our viewers one last thing.
有一个专门的标牌。
Here, this is actually taste. They have the A label here is a major historical and cultural heritage protected at the national level. And here, looking at this, a QR code. And if you scan it, it tells you a lot of these stories. So it's as a visitor, you're looking at all this, and then you scan the QR code. Actually, this is additional readings to you. We talk about that. Yes, buildings can be reached, and also can be experienced. We talk about that. This is a beautiful time you can spend here. We talk about this very beautiful time. This very detailed, sweet. A QR code, but actually really provide you a lot of sufficient information you need. So this is also provide how sweet it is in Shanghai.
人性化更有亲和力，所以其实我一直觉得我们上海其实不是上海人的上海，上海是我们中国全国人民的上海，因为世界的上海。对，因为上海的成功就是因为。
So talk about Shanghai not only belong to the people here in Shanghai. Actually, that really people around the world make Shanghai where it is today. Really, the people around the world constructed Shanghai. So looking at that different style of buildings, actually, that's really give the credit to people around the world. And also, we talk about Shanghai. This is a really dynamic museum here. You can read and experience the culture, the art, the history of Shanghai. And we talk about that from the history to the modern time. And from today, we also can perceive the future. And right now, this is also during the 4th China International Import Expo. So we talk about actually history can be right, the buildings can be right, and also starting from here where we are, and we also can predict that the overwhelming future. So we talk about this is a place with warmth, with history. And also hope our viewers of CGTN New Media can know more about the CIIE and also know more about Shanghai. So please always stay tuned with CGTN New Media. We will bring you more about this city, about the beauty of Shanghai. And we will also actually show that the Changshan style and also that the Qipao. for ladies that will be also show the beauty of Shanghai, and also we'll shop around the CIIE, and maybe we'll also visit the AP's hotel tomorrow. So if you have time, please do visit Shanghai. Very inclusive, very open up, and also very nice to the people to experience the beauty of Shanghai. So waiting to see all our good friends around the globe to visit Shanghai. All right, that does for today's live streaming. Please always stay tuned with CGTN New Media, and we will see you at our next live streaming. Thank you. Bye for now.